Hey, YouTube. My freaking thing broke for whatever reason. It went and skipped my freaking intro piece or whatever. Either case, we're here now. This one's going to be a little bit loose around the edges here. Bully Dog, thank you for coming in. You're first. In fact, let's see what we can do this here. There you go. There you go. All right, so we have done some work. I'm going to skip on showing you some of the work. More or less, I'm going to start another little video here. We'll kind of talk over the top of it and whatnot. But I have been a busy boy. I have built the cabinet. You may have already noticed it. You may not have. Let me... Anyway, we have built the cabinet. I know I didn't do it with you guys live. More or less, you'd be watching me freaking glue a box together. So I just put together like little snippets to kind of show you the process and just, you know, all the fun stuff. There are a couple tools you'll need for what we're about to embark upon. Hey, there he is. So, hey, good morning, all you guys. Yeah, you're the right color. The color you're used to seeing anyway, right? So let me get that video actually kind of going, and let's see here. I want to make sure I choose the right one. Let's see if I can get this right. I got to figure out why my macro stopped working. So I got some work to do, darn it. But in either case, oh, I know why it stopped working. Darn it. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So
I'm taking a brave, bold step here.
I'm going to drop that video down just a little bit. There's not much you need to hear. You hear a fan going, but... So this is obviously jumping back in time a little ways. This is before the cabinet was even, or the cab chassis, excuse me, was even completed at this point here. But this is just kind of the whole process of doing the face plates and whatnot.
Well, so far it seems.
And I'll be danged, they came out pretty dang good if you ask me. So
I might have to do 2 passes to get it to the darkness that I want. Never mind the splash.
I apologize. This is a little bit quiet right now.
A little blower here, but
yeah,
we will come back to this and check it in a few. Alright, we're on just
almost done. This is not fun to watch. Takes about 45 minutes for my machine to blast all this stuff out. But it does what it needs to do. And then when you wipe it down, all the fuzziness goes away. So, fun stuff, right? But that's what it looks like. Just a big bright blue light that you can't actually look at.
Try as you might to get everything right. If you don't actually check your measurements twice, look what you might get. So that is kind of a bummer.
You know how you done it right? You've done it twice.
Hold on, let me get the thing here for you.
Yeah, right.
It's right here.
Brian's texting me on the back end.
So this is good. The front plate is good.
So yeah, make sure you measure things twice. Otherwise, you're gonna end up, you know, doing it thrice in my case. I think I ended up doing it 3 times. So I burned through quite a few dollars worth of face plates and whatnot. Whatever, it is what it is. One of them was this mistake here. Another one was I just decided to change something up, I think. Some of like where the letters and stuff and all that went. But
it just doesn't get all that dark when you burn.
And I use this piece as a test piece.
This is a little bit darker. It's a little bit darker because I did a little experiment there. So obviously you can tell that whatever that experiment was that I did.
So what I did was I used like some black marker, and then you rub it off with the rest of it, and what that does is it makes it look darker. But it's not an ideal way to do it. So yeah, here we are doing it again, because you know I did it right, done it twice. Of course. I'm not gonna torture you with. Oh, that's a short bit.
Well, we're about to find out if this is actually gonna fit, but I did a whole new run just because.
I did a whole new run.
I think this is gonna be it though.
Now this is the fun part here. Let me turn this down because this part is annoying. So this part I got right. So this is just the CNC machine working away here, as you can tell. I ran it a little slow on this one. Cardboard box, right? I will never use this wood again. I do not know what it is, but whatever that skew is right there that you see, do not use that wood. Horrible stuff. It smells terrible. I don't know what it is. It's not the stuff that I usually get. When I went to Home Depot to buy this stuff, I don't know what it was. It was just crap. It was just crap. horrible stuff. And then it cut like crap too. Now I have learned since then I probably need to get some down cut bits. Right now all of my bits are up cut, and the reason I use the up cut bits is because generally speaking I put the beautiful side down. So with the up cut bits it generally has a cleaner cut on the bottom. Yeah, this stuff seems like it came from China. I have new bits. It's not the bit. It's not even the speed of the machine. This wood is just horrendous. All the other stuff I've ever used has been fine. I'll show you what I mean. So there's this other type that I've gotten in the past, and it's all messed up because of the green screen effect, but in either case, this stuff here works great. Looks good, smells good, it smells like actual wood. This stuff here smells like it's like man-made fabricated stuff. I don't know. But yeah, right up to the tape, baby. I love it when you get it right to the tape. So let's see here. I don't know how much longer we got on this. I'm just kind of showing you the different steps as we're going through it. So you have to use two different bits. So I use one to do like a cleanup cut. So that generally goes around the whole periphery of everything and all that fun stuff. But to do the cabinets the way I do, you need at least two bits. And you can hear it just screaming away back there. I think this is the back panel side of things I'm working on here. It looks like the top and the bottom, excuse me. My apologies. Those came out perfect there, the little dimples that you're about to see, well, that you're seeing now. Those are for where the handles go in. Those came out really good, in fact. So I was quite stoked about that. And then, yeah, it took about 10 minutes to cut that all out. And it's perfect. Came out good.
Just a little bit of cleanup here.
And I'll turn this up. You can actually hear things now.
Fit together like it's supposed to, but as you can see, that is kind of the beauty of having a CNC machine, is that you can make all this stuff just kind of do what it's supposed to do.
If the camera would focus.
The chip out was pretty bad, but you can kind of see I'm not too worried about it because in here is going to be that walnut veneer. You won't see that, so it's able to clean all that stuff, even all this chip out here.
Yeah, you'll never see any of that.
Goes over the top of it.
Now
this one here
again, there's a walnut veneer that goes all the way up to that face. That one little spot right there is the only spot that would be visible.
There's a fascia piece that goes over it.
But it's still going to be under Tolex anyway, so I just got to
on the
fill
end
it.
is
No
going to
big
be
deal there.
exposed. So we just fill that up, and after everything's all
Debating
said and
whether or
done,
not I
you
want
never
to jump
know.
ahead here, but
And then of course, I have an idea here that we're gonna do for the mirror. I'm gonna use a piece of aluminum because I'm gonna box the entirety of the back end. I'll show you here in just a second, but I'm gonna box the entirety of the back of the
I'm going to jump ahead.
Maybe
I'll re-explain it a little bit later.
Here.
So this is me talking more about how it's going to get boxed in.
Because I'm going to put an entire walnut piece in here. So how this
that's going to have a walnut piece. I still got to do that work. I haven't done any of the walnut stuff yet.
And the Tolex will wrap into here all the way, about like this. And then this piece of bar here.
So again, just going on about the bar piece
there. And here and along bitty, or quicker to build, strength.
Trying to make it quicker to build.
This back piece here will have the leather cornerettes. You'll have this big old aluminum
I can tell you right now, it looks
there,
really, really good.
Or
it's coming out really
piece,
good.
Excuse me, with the, with this inset in it. So technically it would be like that. Right?
I know this isn't very exciting at the moment.
Inside of the walnut.
Showing you what we got going on here.
Brushed aluminum bezel that goes all the way around the back, so that'll border the back. The objective is upside down. Damn it, is on the front.
All right. I think we get the idea.
A lot of little long. I go with the pocket
just behind
make it as rigid as possible. Here's glass. So in any case, thanks for letting me ramble on. We'll see you in the next bit.
Yay! All right. So as you can see, here's some shots. I know you guys haven't seen this view yet, but I decided to pull it out and just do a couple shots. So it's just a couple still shots, nothing crazy here. So that's what it's going to look like from the top side. That transformer is monolithic. And this is the back side here. So this is, I think, after having finished the initial build. So this is when you guys are actually used to seeing it. It has since been completed. And And that sound that you just heard right there on that guitar was with an iPhone. So that is just right about bedroom level, maybe just above bedroom level. And you can hear we got some natural feedback there. But that's what the amp sounds like in the room through a cab and yada, yada, yada. So just another little sound snippet there. I might maybe turn that into a short or a highlight or something like that. What's going on, Dale? Okay, so the part we've all been waiting for, right? So here is the cabinet. It is done. It doesn't look the part. This thing also has a tough time focusing. I don't know what it is. It just can't get the depth of field for whatever reason. But you can see where I filled all the holes for the screws. I thought I had some shots or some videos that showed kind of actually putting it together, but maybe I missed them. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'll put them in the next video or something like that. But more or less, this whole thing just got kind of screwed and glued, if you will. So the first thing I did was I glued the top and the sides together with the back piece in there, which is that piece there, right? Glued all that together. And then I had to take it and use a special bit. This one here, in fact, this is a pretty cool little bit. You can see it's only like an 1/8 inch, like router edge bit or something like that. But objectively, the goal was to deepen this up, right? So we needed to make that deeper. And you can see we're left with a pretty thin little piece there. Now, I did some other work too, of course, without you guys. But here is that bar that I was talking about that's going to go there, right? So this goes in this orientation, just like that. It will attach to this, and it's already pretty rigid as it is. I mean, it's pretty freaking rigid. Well, imagine this attached to it. It's going to be even more rigid. And then, of course, inside of here is where my walnut piece, which I sat down elsewhere, will fit. And I'm just going to get it out because I want to show it off. So this guy here, I haven't cut it to depth yet, but right. So the Tolex will go over all the way around, and then you're going to be left with like a, it looks like you'll have about 1/4 of an inch, like, you know, lip right there. All right. Does that make sense? So there is still a lip there. And then this guy, I'm not this one specifically, but I'll have something like that. Make sense? And then of course this one will circumvent that there, and then this material will go all the way around. I hope that makes sense. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what the heck's going on. This part's going to be fun. I haven't done it this way yet. I'm going to inlay it into this and then put it in there, glue it or screw it, whatever it takes. It's going to go in there. I haven't decided if I want to do it with the laser burner yet though, or if I want to do it with the with something else. I haven't made those decisions yet. So decisions. I did finish drilling out the holes down here. They do need to be made bigger. Thank you, Dale. I appreciate that. But you can see again, it's screwed all the way down. All right. This thing is very rigid. It is not going anywhere. And then this is the slots I was talking about where the Tolex will come in. My way to make the Tolex look nice, instead of just butting it up on one end and hoping to God it doesn't shrink and pull away or get weird. The really easy way is to take the Tolex up, get it to here, and then cut it down the seam there and then out at an angle each direction and then overlap the two pieces to fit together. Now the beautiful thing is the corners are covered by a piece of leather, so you'll never see that seam in there. The leather will also hold in the piping that I'll use to, you know, swedge in there to hold it all together. Then of course the feet go over. I did this all on video and I can't believe I forgot to put it in that one, but whatever. So the feet will kind of go right in that area. It does not go all the way to the edge. It goes more like that. So they go close to the edge, but not all the way to the edge. But in either case, you get it. That makes sense, I hope. Should make sense. You can see I did put the things in here for the handles. That's these guys here. I just kind of put them in there. So what I did do is I super glued the whatchamacallits, the T-nuts or whatever they call them in there. I super glued them. You don't really need it because by the time I put the little veneer on the inside, yeah, veneers are so much fun. Not. By the time they get, by the
by the time the veneer gets glued in, they can't fall out, right? It's just kind of to hold them in place while I'm working on the darn thing. So, yeah. So that's these guys here. Got some stainless steel handles that will go with the, whatchamacallits there. So, fun stuff. We're going to have all kinds of fun stuff. Get that somewhere where I'm not going to knock it. And I'm going to put these there for now. Stay. All right, so today's video is not going to be super crazy or super long. Focus. Anyway, so yeah, this thing is very, very rigid. The screws that I got are 1.25 inches long, so they go pretty far in there. And I got quite a few all the way around, and of course on the back here. The only weak spot perhaps on this thing is maybe the bottom. I want to try to maybe somehow in the future figure out a better way to... Sorry, I'm dealing with a sinus issue right now. My apologies. So like this one here, how I got the screws on the back to keep this as, integral as we can. Right now, the only thing holding this thing on is the fact that there's an overlapped butt joint here. So I got a little more surface area, and then of course the screws. Now, granted, this thing's only holding up like maybe 30, 40 pounds. So I don't know if it really matters that much. I know this box is stronger than that, but little things I'm always thinking about anyway. So what we need to do is get some tools ready. So you'll need a flat bar or some sort. You'll need a marking pen. You'll need a drink of choice within arm's reach at all times. Some really sharp scissors really helps a lot with this. And then of course a tape measure. That's French for tape measure. If you didn't already know, tape measure. Sloth, what's going on, man? Good to see you. All right, so let's get kind of caught up with what's going on here. Dale, so we got that, the new key holder of tone. Let me tell you, man, my shit sounds pretty good. I'm telling you, when I go, it sounds great. I'm kidding. I tease. Hit the like button. Nice work. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to doing the inlay. I'm going to do a couple practice pieces with that first. And I did order some spiral down bits, actually, just for that. In fact, let me open that up right meow. So because I was having so much fun with my upcut bits, knowing that I'm no longer going to have to worry about hitting, cutting through the bottom, I did get some of these nicer, these are downcut bits. So these ones should make doing, face work a little bit nicer. So hopefully I don't have any problems with that. Let's see here. So Riley, the slate gray, I kind of like that. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the gray, certainly not of the silver. Don't do the silver. But I like the stone gray color. That's kind of a cool color. I like the pastel colors, as you'll probably see in a moment, but I don't like black. Now, the only reason I don't like black is because every other amp company out there does it. Do not be fooled. I did use the carbon fiber black stuff on the Cerberus. Now, the only reason I did black on that amp is because A, it's not my amp. B, it's kind of a heavier gain amp. And the way that the motif was already working out, like the only other color option that there was either going full on white, which can't do that. Sorry, white's just a little too much. David, what's going on, man? And then of course, I just wanted to kind of make it have like a more tough look. So I went with the carbon fiber black. Probably the only amp I'll ever do that way, unless, well, we're going to talk with Andy. I haven't spoken with him since this morning when he hit me up about possibly doing the cabinetry for the high watt that he's sending to AC. But I'll be glad to do it. I already have an idea in mind for it. If I do get commissioned to do that, it would make sense to just send it to me anyway, so then I can check it out and be the second man to play it. But no, it'd just be cool because I know I can do a good job, and I have an idea for it that I think will really accentuate that thing. I like that there's black and red motif kind of going on with that. I don't know that I would go with red Tolex, but I think there's something that I can do for it that would be cool. I want to try another
another idea with like the backlighting and stuff like that. I'll probably still do the rear mirror thing like I did for the Cerberus, but maybe we'll do something with color options or, you know, something like that, right? Other ideas. So I know we're here for this. Other things that have happened. So 3/8" round over bit is what you'll need if you're going to do these corners here. So I got a 3/8" round over bit, and I'll tell you this right now. If you use a 3/8" round over bit, you can go too shallow. All right, so don't just nick off the corner. You want to try to get it just to the point where the flat part of the, you're not knowing what I'm talking about unless I actually show you. So let me see if I have a round over bit readily available. I have a couple here. Not in that one. Maybe I don't have one. Yeah, it's not a 3/8", but it is a bit. Now gimme. It's not gonna gimme. It doesn't want to gimme. Let's see if I can do this without hurting myself. Sorry, I'm pulling, and I'm trying to pull without ripping my hands apart. So this one here is a 1/4" one, right? So just to give you an idea, that's a 1/4" round over bit. That's that flat spot that I'm talking about right there. If it would focus. So you want to try to get right up to that corner there. The closer you can get to that, the better, so that way you get a full radius on the thing. If you go too shallow and you don't quite hit all the way to the bottom, it really looks a little weird. So just FYI, when you're doing these, if you're going to build a cabinet, most all of them are 3/8" roundovers, and you want to go as deep as you can before you hit the flat spot and start cutting a lip into your wood. Even if you get just a sliver of a lip, it's not that big a deal. You go over with the sander anyway. Now, the way I did everything, like I said, is I used an overlap butt joint to try to gather as much material as I can over here to get to glue together. I will probably still go back and do a bead of super glue down these just for a little bit of safety's sake, even though super glue really ain't going to do much for strength, I don't think. I got more than enough screws here to get this thing to work, so we'll see. Somebody's here. Hi, baby.
Hi.
You can do some laundry? Okay, you can do some laundry. I bet you do. Nobody else has seen it yet, so we're trying to keep it secret. Shh, don't show anybody. Hold on. The wife's doing laundry, everybody. So yeah. This thing is quite set and ready to go. Let me put this away elseways. And we kind of already talked about this, everybody, y'all. Nobody argued with me about the color that we're about to display here. So I'm going to go with it because I haven't had any argument. And the wife already approved. She likes the color, so she wins. Baby blue. That's what we're going with, baby blue. So, why are we going with baby blue? Brian's over there dying right now because he doesn't like the blue or the... he doesn't like any of the colors. What am I looking for? There's that. So this is the color of the leather that we're going with. It's like this deep tan, if you will. So between that and the aluminum, you can kind of get an idea of the kind of motif. And then of course we got white. So let's go ahead and get, where's the, there it is. Here's one of the face plates I messed up. All right, so we kind of got that whole motif going. I think it's gonna look good. I think it's gonna be great. So this is the back one that I messed up on, darn it. So yeah, anyway, that's what we're going with. So what we need to do is measure out the amount of material that we need. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. One of them is more wasteful than the other. All right, the wife is gone, everybody, as you were. Teasing. She's had a day apparently. So she's a little bummed out. She's had a week, to be honest. So just so you guys know, lies. I know lie. I know the colors you don't like. No, you probably do like this one. This is actually a nice color. So the wife, she helps Her job is to basically house homeless veterans. And, you know, homeless people in general are not always there. And they had an incident this week where they had a slab leak at one of the houses. And nobody thought to say anything to anybody until Monday morning. It's like, finally somebody piped up and said, you know, this is kind of an all hands on deck situation. Prior to that, though, they only sent one text that said, we think there's a leak. We're not sure where it's coming from. That was it. They just sent one text to somebody who was off duty that day. We think there's a leak. We're not sure what it is. And then Monday morning, it's like, yeah, this is all hands on deck. Sure as heck, the entirety of the house had flooded out and all that fun stuff. So she gets some fun stuff like that. So they had to rearrange arrangements for them. So things happen, I guess. So what do we got to do here? We need to know, sorry, I'm trying to get my workspace put together. We need to know a couple things. So there's two different ways you can work with this stuff, right? You can't see it because I can't zoom out far enough, but this thing is 36 inches wide in this dimension here. And I think I bought like 3 or 4 yards of this stuff. So 36 times 4 or whatever. It's that long that way, right? More than likely, this is not going to be long enough from, you know, in the 36 inches to go over the top, down the sides. That's what we're going to try to figure out, is if we have enough length to go across the top and down the sides. And I cannot remember the dimensions off the top of my head, so that's what I'm going to work on right now. So I know it's about 18.5 by 10 by 10. So 18.5 by 10 by 10. What does that work out to? I'm busting out Mr. Calculator so I can, I'm not good with the maths, all right? Don't laugh at me. So 18.5 plus 10 equals 38.5. We already know that this dimension ain't gonna work, which is kind of a bummer in a way, because that means we've got to roll this thing out to get the length that we need. Now what I can tell you is that we only need to add like another couple inches to either side, right? And that's just to make sure that we're going to get all the way around, right? Because we got to go in at least an inch on either side once it wraps around. So basically call it 19 inches, and then basically call it 11 and 11, and then add another 2 inches just for safety, right? So we got 38.5, so we're going to call it, we're basically going to shoot for about 40 inches. And I think that'll give me enough. So that's an extra inch, and yeah, we might want to go for, yeah, it'd be nice to do 40 round, but I think we might have to just go like 42 inches and just let it burn, right? It is going to be like wrapping a Christmas gift. And then width-wise, so I guess this would kind of help if you could see it a little bit. So again, width-wise, this way. What I found is, like, the way I do my thing, I have that tuck and roll kind of thing I do, right? Well, it works out that it's 1 inch in on either side. So I know for a fact that whatever this width is, I need to add at least an inch to get down the face. You got to make sure you account for your face. So an inch down, and then I need another inch back. So I better add at least a ½ an inch on either side, right? Just to make sure I got enough. So this thing is 10 inches deep. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Better make it 15. Let's round it out to 16 inches. So we're going to make something that's 42 by 16. So just remember those numbers. Don't let me forget. 42 by 16. That's going to give us ample width and all that fun stuff. Now the nice thing about going with 16 is that'll leave us with just a little over half of this thing left in our width-wise. So we'll know that we're going to end up with some extra this, that, and the other. So I am going to attempt to roll this out without making a huge freaking mess. It's not freaking easy or fun. And I got a lot of yardage of this. I may have bought, I knew I was going to like this color, so I bought extra length because I knew I was going to want to use it on more than 1 amp. It's more or less what has happened. Luke bit off more than he could chew. There's at least 3 yards here, I can tell you that right now. And what we want to do when we're working with this stuff is work on the bottom. So the bottom of this is white, that fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just unravel the whole damn thing. And I wish I had a bigger like table, like those, what are those tables that they use at like the crafts table? I don't know, you can see them at Michael's and stuff like that, where you can lay out the fabric and it's got all the, I wish I had that kind of stuff. 42. 43 by, yeah, we're going to do 42, yeah, by 16. Thank you. Somebody was paying attention. It's not about the width, it's about the girth. So let's see here. I'm going to kind of cheat. I'm just going to hold it out. I'm going to tell you right now that the exact measurements is really kind of, you know, ballpark is fine. So I want my pen. So we're going to mark it out here at 42. All right. It doesn't have to be exact. You just got to be closer than not. Now there's a couple different ways we can do this. The dangerous, damn, that doesn't leave me a whole lot. I thought I had a little more yardage than that. It looks like I only went with 2 yards. So I'm not going to have enough to build. I may have enough to do 2 amplifiers. Maybe enough to do 2 amps. So the downer is, you've got 2 different ways you can do this, right? So you can almost see the whole thing. There's a line there, and there's the edge there. This thing's having a tough time keeping up with me today. So you can either trust that this edge is square and try to run your square edge down that way, or you can just get to the other side and measure it out. I'm gonna just trust that they got it right. So I'm gonna basically stretch this thing out a little bit so I can get to the other side of it. And where did it go? There it is. All right, does that make sense here what I'm doing? So I'm getting it so that way I can measure in on the other half. That's all. So I'm turning it inside out and backwards. That sort of deal. Ah, stay put. All right, and we'll do the same thing. There we go. Okay, so we got, get it closer to the edge there. It's pretty close. And 42. So we're gonna mark it out at 42. Again, being exactly perfect is not like the end of the world. It looks like I'm gonna wanna try to do one in the middle. Sorry, I'm bonking things and fun stuff. Dang it, I went the wrong way, didn't I? Did I go the right way? No, I went the right way, all right. What I need to do is learn how to fold. There we go. This stuff is kind of a pain in the butt to work with, just saying. It's definitely easier if you got a desk or table big enough to manage it. All right, so I'm just gonna try to get a measurement that's somewhere down in the middle somewhere. That's all I'm trying to do now. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna try to do it more towards the middle. Yikes. All right, let's do that. That was mildly embarrassing. The only reason I'm not totally embarrassed is because I'm pretty sure anybody can imagine the amount of torment that goes into trying to work with something that you don't have the space for. I'm hoping to appeal to your level of sensibility on that. All right, one more to go here. And then we can start working the other way back. Ballparked. We know it's at least 42. 42 we know is also longer than we need it to be. All right.
So now what we can do is start connecting the dots. All right, because we got more than enough dots, I think. Where did I get this one? Do I need to get another one in the middle? Yeah, let's work with what we got here. Let's work with what we got. I'm gonna start with one end and work our way down. That's what I'm gonna do. And it's just not gonna cooperate with me today, because why would it? I wouldn't cooperate with me either. There it is. Stay put. There we go. So I got 2 lines there. And I set the pin down back behind me here, of course. This pin's about done, but it'll get us through this job. I don't really worry about the Tolex showing on anything. It doesn't generally seem to be a problem. Generally. I've never had it pop in. The other thing is too is that by the time you generally get all the pookie on there, the Tolex kind of is bent over a corner or something like that anyway. So it just kind of, I don't know, it always just seems to work itself out. You don't see it, that's what I'm saying. Even though it seems like you might. Should have gone a little bit tighter. There we go. Alright, now I've got just this little bit here in the middle, and it looks like I got it pretty close here. Now the question is, am I going to be able to work this out? I think what I'm going to do is go like this. Now I can get to the half I need to get to and play connect the dots. Connect the lines, excuse me. No, connect the dots. Alright, ish. Woo! Alright, so this is the next moment of faith, is when we cut this, is it going to be long enough? Or is it going to be the right cut? So it's kind of, not really a leap of faith, but it's kind of a leap of faith. So what I'm going to do, to try to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to roll it up a little bit. I said what I'm going to do to make my life easier is roll it up a little bit. It's just going to fight. It's just going to fight. It's just going to fight. Alright, does that make sense? So now I got it in a way where it's a little more stable for me. So I'll cut from one end to the other with my really, really sharp scissors. I really like these ones. If you get these Wiss brand ones from Crescent or whatever, the titanium coated. I don't like the serrated ones, but these ones are sharp enough. You can kind of almost set it like that and just push it through and it'll cut. Just make sure that anything that you want underneath isn't underneath, because you will cut it. And sorry, I'm kind of working along here without you, but I think you can kind of see what I mean. It just kind of glides right on through, and I'm just supporting this other side here to make sure it doesn't fly off. There we go. Now we're left with a slightly more manageable piece on the other half. Just happens to work out to be yay big. So we can use either what's left of this to do the bottom, or, well, we'll end up with we'll get 2 amps worth out of this, because we're doing it at 16. So 16 and 16 is 32. We have a 36-inch wide slab there. So there's 2 amps worth of, you know, that. And then we can use this one to get the bottoms, and there's 2 worth on the bottoms as well. To the best of my knowledge, there's no directionality on these. What I mean by that is if you place it this way or that way, it doesn't matter. At least I haven't seemed to notice any.
Yeah, I need a bigger table for sure. Is 42 the answer to everything? I can't remember. What is that like magical math number? Not like pi. 3.14, 3.14, is it 3.414? Whatever the hell it is. You know what I mean. Okay, so 16 inches now. We got to go the other direction with this thing. I'm just gonna get it going in this direction now. This one will be a little bit easier to deal with because of the direction, but what the hell did we do? Whatever. It's just trying to unravel on me is all. Sorry, it's painful. It's just as painful for me as it is for you. Trust you, me. All right, so you got to pick a side. Which side? I don't know. I'm gonna go from this way in. I don't know. There's no reason why. There is no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just gonna do it. So we're shooting for 16. This is the last chance to make sure that is what we want to do. Measure at least once and cut, twice. So the lengthways is that way, widthwise. And we know that it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we got an extra 2 inches. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of leftover here. More than enough. 16 is more than we need. Why does that seem like I fucked up? I don't know why it seems like I did. I know I didn't, but it just seems like it. Anyway, I'm just gonna be brave. We're gonna get brave. We're just gonna get brave. Now this way is a little bit easier to manage because you don't have so much of it. And then what you can do is kind of ravel one up while you roll the other one out, kind of deal. That's kind of what I try to do anyway. Golly, it's just gonna fight kicking and screaming, isn't it? It's just, it can't not, you know what I mean? It just can't not. And I'm sorry you can't see the edge. I'm holding the edge while I pull the tape into it a little bit to try to make sure that it stays pretty taut. I'm not a seamstress, all right? Just know that I'm not a seamstress. Or whatever they call those. I'm not that guy. This is as new for me as it is for you too. I've only done it like a few times. Not gonna claim to be a pro at it either. All right. I'm not horrible at it. There we go. Also helps to get a tape measure that doesn't self-ravel. I'm only saying, I'm not saying. Okay. Alright. So now we get to mark some lines in the other direction. I guess I'm just going to keep it simple. It's smart probably in this case to keep at least 3 lines. I don't know. Probably doesn't matter either way. Well, at least they seem to align in the same orientation. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap it up as I go along. I'll let this one fall down. Why not? I think we got enough room we can work that out. Make it work. Gonna make it work. There's probably better things that you can use than this too. Just saying. I don't know what it is. I don't own it. Hey. Well, you know. Okay.
All right, we got a line. It tried. It tried. Oh Lord, did it try. All right, since this is the part that I want to keep here, this is my short side, I'm gonna wrap this thing up from the other end here. And I don't know that I did that right. I had to have done it right. Why do I feel like it's wrong? I really don't know why. I'm scared now. I feel like I needed to go the other direction, but I know that that's 32. I'm gonna double check my math here. So when I measure this out, if the fucking thing was so put. Sorry. All right. 54 inches. Oh. Okay, so it's 54 inches wide. That's kind of cool. I didn't know it was 54 wide. I guess that makes sense. Okay. So it's not quite 2 yards, because that's 1 yard. It's basically not even a yard and a half. It's a little over a yard wide. So we could have gone the other direction with it, is more or less. When I thought it was 36 inches, we probably could have gotten away with just doing it the one width. I'm an idiot. That's okay. That's what I get for not measuring it out or not even thinking about it. You're just going based on gut. I think in the end it kind of works out the same. I mean, if you take 54 and divide it by 3, I mean, I don't know. It's not quite 16. But we got enough here. We can probably get away with at least 2 or 3 amps. 16, 16, and 16. I don't know. What is 16 times 3? Ooh, it's not quite 54. 16 times 3. It's 48. Ooh, we can get 3 amps out of this. I knew I did something to make it so I can get 3 amps out of one. I got lucky. That's all I can say is I got lucky, okay? So it's 54 that way. We know it's 42 in the right. So I did it right. Is more or less what we're getting at here. So I did it right. Inadvertently, I got lucky in two ways. My foolish charm. I'm not proud. I'm not saying I'm happy with myself. I'm saying I got lucky. Okay? Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Double check. Apparently measuring is like a thing. You know? Imagine that. Alright, we're going to do this again. I'm going to cut it from the edge here. And that'll be that. Alright. Feel mildly like an idiot right now. I mean, I'm not exactly making it up as I go along, but at the same time, I don't do this on the daily, so I cannot say that the knowledge of how to do this is innate yet. But we're still going to find out how bad I biffed it or not. So when I set this thing on top, this is one of those points where you get to kind of test and see if you are even remotely close. So what we're looking to see is that if I fold this over, will it get all the way in? Right? So obviously we can see that we're going to have way more than enough. Excuse me. Okay? All right, same with on the back side, right? We want to know. So obviously we know that I made it long enough. We're still going to have some extra, and the way it kind of seems like it's going to work out, the extra little bit that I got, we'll be able to use for the purposes of filling in this spot. Now the next thing is, did we do it right in this regard? So it better cross over the top of that line, and it does. Same with this side here. And it does. All right, so, and I still have some wiggle room. I can move it over either way, right? Either way, it crosses over. We did good. Yay! I didn't screw it up. Gold star. All right, now you don't have to do this if you don't want, this next part. I like to do it just because it makes it a lot easier to see. I will mark out where the amp is going to go. So the way I kind of do that is get out which measuring tools I want to use. I'm going to use this one, right? So it'd be nice to know that we're in the middle. So we know that this thing's 42. So if we're looking for 21 inches, right? We know that 21 inches is the middle. So I'm going to get to one edge over here. We're going to try to get it somewhat square. 21 and 21. We just need to know where the middle is. We don't have to run a line through it. We don't need to go that crazy. But so we got 21. This thing is 18.5, so that's 9 1/4 inches either direction of that. However you want to do that. So it's 9 1/4, right? 9 and 9 is 18. So we're going to put a line here, and we're going to put a line at 18.5. And if I did that right, we should end up with the same width on either end. It better be over 10. And it looks like it's right around 12. And over here, apparently I was off by a little bit. It's 11 1/2 over here, so I went the wrong way probably. 9 1/4. Yeah, I did it right. Whatever, we got enough length either way. That's the top. One way we can know that this is still going to work is simple. We stick this guy right there, pull this up, and you can see it goes well over, like well over. All right, so we're good still. If I really wanted to be cool, I could shift everything over 1/4 inch or thereabouts, whatever. I'm not going to bother. Okay, so we need to do that same thing over here. So I guess it would be smart to do it in the same way, so that way we can get that. All right, so 9 1/4 and 18 1/2. Then what we're going to do is bust out with this guy. Ish. It's tough to tell if it looks square because of the way that the twill or whatever the heck they call that. I think that's what they call it. The way that the squigglies go through it to make the pattern. They're kind of going at a slight angle, at least compared to where the liner's at. But we know this is relatively square. I don't know how square, but we're going to say it's pretty freaking square. I guess it'd be kind of helpful to know. According to this, it's off by that much. But again, it doesn't really matter so long as all the sides go around. Right? So if you measure from this end here, I've got 11 1/4. While up here, I did it pretty close. Over here, it's like just under 12, right? So the line is shifted off a little bit. I don't know how, I don't know why, whatever. Maybe I did this one wrong, I don't know. This one shows 21. That one's a fat 21 is what it is. That's where some of our math starts to get off. Whatever, it's okay. So we know now where this is going to go. At this point, you could put the line here. If you could put the line here that shows where the top would be. All we want to know is that it's going to land in our spot. It's 10 inches, so we only need to know that 10 inches from this line, right? 10 inches from that line is where we better have more than enough material at. All right, so we know that it's going to make it that direction. We already know for sure this side is, because this side's longer than that. So 10 inches right there, and 10 inches here, right? So those lines that I did there is just so that we know that when this folds over, we've got better than an inch. We do. So we know that this is going to work. Now we want to center the thing in this direction. And as I recall, this thing is 10 inches wide. It is. So again, we'll just measure out to the middle of this thing.
Come on, baby. So center out at 16, it better be. And we're gonna put a line at 8, 8. So I guess that being the case, if it's 8 inches, so 16, so we basically subtract 3 inches from either side. Is that what it is? So we got, what is that, 6? Yeah, 3 inches from either side. That should be about right. Math is not my strong point, just saying. Don't be afraid to correct me when it comes to math. I'm just a dude, okay? And over here, we're gonna go 13 to 10. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here. 13 to 10. And we're gonna go there to 3. All right. Now you can draw a full line here if you want. I'm just gonna do it a little lighter. This stuff it's not gonna bleed into the wood or out the other side of the material, but you know, you don't want to tempt fate, I guess, any more than you need to. The stuff that I use is pretty gnarly. I use the high test stuff. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is what I like to use. This is the Weldwood contact cement from DAP. This is the stuff. If you do not want your Tolex to come off ever again, or at all ever, that is the stuff, okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. That stuff will always work. And what we're doing now is just fitting it in the box. And you can see that our box is obviously not square. It doesn't matter. You can't see it, I can see it, but my box is not square. That's all there is to it. But that's all we need to know is that it's gonna fit in between. And I still got a solid inch at least on this side here, and at least another solid inch on this side, and I do. So I've got over an inch on each side to play with. I'm not worried. Now, we're not Tolexing tonight, by the way. Sorry. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. I mentioned this wasn't going to be a long one. I'll probably do the Tolexing tomorrow. I need to be in a state of mind. That stuff will get you high AF, okay? This stuff is no joke. You listen to Andy talk all the time about how this stuff gets him anxiety and he gets his heart beats like a million miles a minute. This stuff is pretty gnarly. You cannot do this in the house with the wife and the kids. Like, your wife will absolutely murder you if this stuff doesn't murder you first. I'm not going to say that it makes me high as a kite, but you can definitely feel it after about an hour. So I would say do it in a well-ventilated area. But the downside is that stuff there, you kind of need to be in a pretty dry area. So you don't want to do it on a rainy day in Florida when it's 80 degrees outside. Like, that's really humid, and that stuff won't work for that, right? For whom the bell Tolexes, right? We have this thing marked out. This thing is ready for Tolexing. That's all we're going to do for today in that regard. We're an hour on the dot into this. I'm kind of, a couple of whiskeys to help calm the nerves. What did we learn today? We learned to double check your measurements of your Tolex. Apparently they come in 54-inch wide rolls. I forgot about that minor detail. I thought it was a yard by whatever yardage that you purchased. It's 54 inches wide by whatever yardage you purchased. So I must have purchased 3 yards. As you know, my intention was to get 3 amps out of it. As long as I don't goof this piece up here, obviously we know, hey, how's it going there, Armin? We know that we can get at least 3 amps out of that one roll of Tolex. So we got that much. Marking it out, again, trying to be square is helpful, but it's, not that big a deal. Oh, the amp is actually away at the moment. Somebody already won it. It's gone. Sorry, I didn't, April Fools. I'm just kidding. No, the amp is at my friend Michael's house. He's flogging away on it. I've mentioned it before. Michael is my engineer friend, and he likes to play with the amps before I send them off. He's kind of like my quality control, if you will. So he's beating it up right now. Hopefully he's collecting some good notes for me to try to work things out before it gets sent off. What do we got going on here? So yeah, we know that this thing's gonna work, but well, shoot, I'm trying to think of like what I want to show you here. I think this is gonna look beautiful. So this is that Tolex. It's a nice baby blue. We're gonna have, I'm just grabbing some parts here. We're gonna have a nice, you know, handle like this. Nice leather handle. Our cornerets. I'll try to pick ones that are close to the handle color, and that'll go in there. And of course we'll have our brushed aluminum. This will be brushed later. Right now it's got the lines and all that fun stuff, but that will be brushed. The face pieces are gonna be fun. I have those here as well. So the way the face pieces work is I've got this stuff here, which is 1/4 inch thick bar aluminum. So I have to drill this and then of course brush it as well. So yeah, that stuff's a pain in the butt to work with. Let me tell you. It's not that it's a pain in the butt to work with. It's actually that it's really, really thick, and it's pretty hard stuff. I think it's 60-61 if I'm not mistaken. So trying to get the chamfer for the nuts or whatever, the screws, to be exactly. So the way I try to do it, I do the chamfer. Do I have one out? I don't have one out. So I try to do the chamfer in such a way that when you put the screw in, it's like perfectly flush with the material. That's a challenge to do with that stuff, because it's pretty hard and there's quite a bit of material that you gotta, you know, pull out of there. So yay. So a couple other things we got to do. I still need to do the veneer stuff on the inside. I still need to do the walnut piece on the back. Speaking of walnut, where did I put that thing? Imagine this piece here in the back, right? This will be stained, so it'll look nice and dark in color, so it'll look really beautiful. And then of course with this wonderful looking aluminum L in the middle of it. Oop, whoop. All kinds of fun stuff coming up here as we get closer and closer to getting this thing done. I'll probably be picking the amp back up this weekend, just so I can play with it some more. I do need to start thinking about getting the effects loop in. I still haven't not done that yet, so we're going to be doing that. Outsourcing the quality control. Hell yeah. What else? So this weekend is Mother's Day, so I'm probably not going to be working on Sunday, just so you know. My plan is to have this box right here Tolexed by Saturday, or by this weekend, okay? That is the plan. With that plan in place, that means that we will at least be able to set the the amp inside of here. It only takes a day or an afternoon, if you will, to Tolex. You kind of saw it doesn't take that long to mark it all out. Where it gets finicky with the Tolex, and the reason we're not doing it tonight is it's already like 6:30 my time. So, I mean, it takes 3 or 4 hours. Thereabouts, about 3 or 4 hours, maybe more, to do a whole thing. So the reason why is you don't have to do it this way, but with this stuff there, the DAP crap that I was talking about, the way I like to do it is you put a layer on one side, the top, right? But you have to wait like 20 minutes to 30 minutes for it to set. Now you can use a heat gun to try to make it go a little faster. What I have found though is that if you try to use a heat gun, it causes it to bubble up a little bit, or it just does some weird stuff. It's just best to get a nice fat coat on this thing here and a nice fat coat on your Tolex and just let it set. Wow, that thing really doesn't like to focus on the top of that, does it? This stuff here will dry faster. Sometimes you end up needing to put 2 coats on, depending on how thick you can get it on there. Leaderman, there he is. Sorry, I'm like 5 minutes behind. Right, so you put a nice fat coat on there. I found it best to get as thick a coat as you can on the Tolex right away, so you don't have to mess with it. This thing looks all nice and pretty right now. There's a reason why I'm not worried about how accurate and exact things are. This thing is going to stretch. So that stuff is the high test stuff. It's not like the water-based stuff. The water-based stuff will not stretch it. It'll look just like this. With the water-based stuff, you do have to be a little more precise because you don't have any give on this. That's why they say you need a heat gun. so you can soften up the Tolex so you can kind of stretch it around and make it nice and tight. With that stuff there, that stuff there will melt this stuff out enough that it'll start to expand and warp and do whatever the hell it wants to do, to the degree where you can stretch it however you want to get it around your Tolex, around your bends and stuff like that, and you still have the added benefit of being able to use heat. It's not so bad that it ruins the Tolex, like the texture of it or anything. It does it naturally enough, but it's nice because you can get it on there. It's really pliable, but it takes 20 to 30 minutes or so for it to be prepared to actually set it on there, right? So if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, you can see how it takes 30 minutes at least per side. And so I usually try to start on the beautiful side first, generally. So I'll lay this down like this here, and then we'll do whatever we carefully can to set the top, which is this side here, down first, and then you just kind of, you know, get it set on there, and then boop, and then you roll it over and you feather it out, right? And by feather it out, I mean you use a roller. So I have this little rubber roller here, and you just kind of, what do they call it? Burnishing it. So you just burnish it out, right? And that contact and meshing the, you know, the mat or whatever the hell this stuff is that they call it into the stuff that's on there, helps lock it all together. But once that stuff sets with this tack to it, it ain't coming off. And if it does, it's taking the wood with it. Ask me how I know. If you're lucky and you do it fast enough or soon enough, you can actually get it so that the contact cement will peel away from the wood without pulling chunks off. But I've had it peel like the wood filler out. I've had it peel that out. I've had it peel chunks of slivers away on some of the test pieces I've done. The nice thing is with the high test stuff is that when you put it on, as you know, this stuff here is already kind of melty a little bit, and it's a little malleable, I guess, really flimsy and easy to work with. Well, when it hardens and when it cures, it sucks in. So it'll really like, it'll suck itself in real nice and tight like on the amp. And that makes it so nice because you know that stuff's on there, it ain't going nowhere. That makes doing some of these other seams a little bit of a challenge. So what I like to do is I'll get it on there and I'll cut the piece a little long and I'll let it, you know, set for a long while, long enough that we know it's not going to suck back anymore. And then after everything's all said and done, I'll finish off the seam work there and put the piping in, and Bob's your uncle. So I'm going to attempt to do the Tolexing tomorrow night. So that's the plan at the moment, is to do the Tolexing tomorrow night. But I think that kind of about does it for now, at least in terms of all the prep work and stuff like that. We're all prepped. We know everything's going to fit. So questions, concerns, worries, this, that, or the other, shoot. Let's go. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. I'm all ears. Just doing a little bit of cleanup while I'm waiting for you guys to plop out some concerns, or if you don't have anything to say, that's fine too. I can go to bed and hang out with the wife. I'm not saying that's what I want to do, but that's what I will do. Tolex on live. Yes, that's going to be tomorrow. I will do that with you guys in the real time. It will not be fun. That's why I'm kind of, like I say, I'm not doing it tonight, because it will take a bit of time. So the hope is, tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow might not work. Brian, darn it, I gotta work late tomorrow again. I do have to work late tomorrow. But that's not a no. It just means I'll be home a little bit later than I normally am. And it just simply means that we'll just run a little bit later into the night. If all goes well, if I get out here and start it about the same time as I did today, it's 5:30. It's a real show now. 5:30, 6 o'clock-ish. That puts us into about 10 o'clock. So right about the time I like to head to bed. I'm an old man, you know, so. So yeah, hopefully we can get it down and ready by 10-ish, done by 10-ish tomorrow. So that's the hope, is I'll get started before 6 and finished by 10. And yeah, we'll get this thing all glued up. Other tools, as I mentioned, that you'll probably want to have for this is like that burnishing tool. Definitely going to want one of these. It's just helpful. And then a heat gun. And I've talked about this before. In previous videos, if you've ever watched some of my past videos, you've seen my other heat gun. It was not nearly as nice as this one, even though that this one isn't even the best of the best, but this one's a nice new heat gun. But you'll notice it doesn't have any paint, and it doesn't have any, like, it's not beat up and all that fun stuff. Do not let your wife get in touch or get a hold of your heat gun, or you will quickly learn and realize that it will get destroyed in very short order, because she will use it to do pour painting with, or some other crazy other project, and she's going to get paint and glue and everything else all over it. Shmoo, all the shmoo. So the heat gun is really nice. It does help a bit. Low heat, by the way, low heat. So later, my man. We'll see you mañana. Ooh, concrete for the wall. Alrighty, my man. So I think that just about does it for everybody and everything today. I am looking forward to doing this, getting a little bit more done. The plan is to at least get this thing Tolex by this weekend, or completed on the Tolex. Hopefully I'll also be able to get the files done for, I'll probably do that after I'm done here, but I'll get the files done for the work inside of this thing. So I need to create the files to put the veneer in here. All right, so I got to get all these things measured out, etc., etc. So I'll probably do that tonight, and that'll be that. I'll probably also get the back plate done. That one's going to be a little more challenging. When I say the back plate, I'm talking about that piece of walnut. I still need to cut that piece. And Mullet, you're late, man. But hey, how's it going? Welcome in. So I still need to cut the depth on it, but I'm probably going to do a couple of test pieces for that one before I actually do the real chunk of walnut, because I'd be very shamed if I were to ruin a chunk of walnut because it didn't work out right. So in either case, I think that is about it. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.